Hey, and welcome back to my garden and my series, The Plants. Yesterday was all about foliage. Today it's all about color, flowers. Oh my gosh. Late July through first frost, it's all about the dahlias. Now here's a quick question. Go ahead and note in the comments here, do you call them dahlias or do you call them dahlias? Why don't we, in the comments, put a smiley face if you call them dahlias, and put a shrug symbol if you call them dahlias. I can never remember the proper pronunciation until I'm with a group of dahlia fanatics, and they give me that funny look like, what are you saying? I guess it's not as easy as tomato. Anyhow, welcome to my garden, the guide to my garden, I have an area specifically for my dahlias on one of the back pages because I love them so much. Now, I will say most of my dahlias I obtained from Swan Island Dahlias in Canby, Oregon. If you just go to dahlias.com, oh my gosh. And if you can make it to Canby, Oregon in August or September, you've got to find an opportunity to swing by and check their farm out. It's open, they got food trucks, music, gift shop, but they got dahlias. Oh my gosh, dahlias. So with dahlias come in all different shapes and sizes. There are short ones, petite ones, the big ones. We've got dinner plate size, which I guess this would consider dinner plate, but wait, oh my gosh. Wait until you see Dahlia OMG. That one's amazing. And then I have another one that's not currently in bloom, but if you check my socials, go back about a week, you'll see one that the flower is larger than my head. That's a big flower. So with dahlias, if you're in a growing zone 8 or higher, they can be overwintered in the ground. The key though is they need to be in good draining soil. They can't sit in moisture. So when I first fell down the dahlia rabbit hole, if you will, I put in raised beds, and at the end of the season, after first frost, or oh my gosh, these last couple years, we haven't had a killing frost until early December. So at some point at the end of the season, end of November, first frost, what have you, I come through and I cut them all down and I pile the mulch, the clippings right on top of the pile. Now some of these guys have really large stalks. I'm not sure if you can see that. I'll try to zoom in. No, you can't see that one. You know what? I'm gonna take a picture. I hope I remember this time to actually put it in. We'll put it right there. Look at how thick that stalk is. Oh my gosh. So when you cut that, that's just a big hole. And so if you're, especially if you're here in the Pacific Northwest where we get a lot of rain in the fall, if you've cut that, that'll fill with water and then it'll help rot the tuber. So I put little caps over them until they dry up. But back to what I do. So not knowing exactly how good a drainage I had here in my yard and not taking the time to figure it out, I put them in raised beds to help with that. Then to give a little added protection, as I cut the dahlias down, I just put those clippings on top of the root ball or the root mound. And then I have tarps that I put over to help control the amount of moisture going in there. And then early spring, I'll start to see sprouts once we start getting a few warm days. And by mid-July, I will start seeing flowers, especially on Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a cutie, but I'll see flowers on Santa Claus. With the larger varieties, if you have a dahlia that grows over 3 feet tall, its expected growth habit is over 3 feet tall, best plan there is once it gets to about 18 inches tall, go ahead and top it. Pinch the top off so it can branch out. The one thing that you also want to make sure that you're doing with your dahlias, especially the tall ones, is that you are staking, getting stakes in there. When you're first planting your tubers in the spring, if you're in an area where you lift them in the fall, then is a good time to put in your stakes. That way you know where the tuber is and you're not going to destroy it. I'm not going to get into how to overwinter tubers. I've done it. As far as lifting tubers, dividing, yeah, that's all for another video. And I do have a video on how to divide tubers. My plan is with my dahlias is every 2 years in the spring, when they start coming up, that's when I'll dig them up and divide them. I also find that that's a really good time also to move them around. I had no loss this spring. There was a couple I needed to move around to, because I had beds that were overcrowded. Didn't phase them a bit. As soon as I saw the first spark of life on one, then I went ahead and moved it. So they're pretty easy to move around, but don't let them sit too many years without dividing them, because those tubers will just keep getting more compact, and you'll get to a point where you won't have as strong and healthy of a plant because there's just too much going on down there. But you know, a couple years, not too bad. It actually does help it be a little bushy. But make sure you know what you're doing when you go to divide it, so you can share your tubers with friends, family, or open a small business and sell them on the internet or roadside stand or somewhere. Dahlias make great cut flowers. I just love the visual interest out in the yard. We do try to keep a bouquet in the house throughout the season. So dahlias, been growing them for a couple years, absolutely love them. Limited space because I'm focusing more on the foliage and the tropical feel. But hey, you see a color like that, doesn't that just scream tropics? Anyhow, remember, this series is all in hopes to raise enough funds so I can join a plant hunting, exploring expedition, perhaps with a wonderful place like Far Reaches Conservatory, or another in the area that offers participation when they do their periodic excursions out in different countries. So anyhow, this has probably gone on a little bit longer than I'd hoped. What's that time say? Like 6 minutes, 8 minutes? The sun's in my eyes. Oh my gosh, 8 minutes. Sorry about that. Hey, trying to make these shorter. I will work on that. Tomorrow we're getting back to foliage, or the next video we'll get back to foliage. But here, enjoy a quick snapshot of my different dahlias that I'm growing this summer that are currently in bloom. And we'll talk to you next time. All right, here we have show and tell. Then we have, oh, the light, all that jazz. And then finally in this little grouping, raspberry punch. Love the color on that. And these are all growing very nicely. Here we have Maki, M-A-K-I. This one gets very large. And in this area we have Labyrinth, as well as Santa Claus. Check out those colors, that red and white. Labyrinth and Santa Claus. One of my sad ones for the year is Flamethrower. A gorgeous flower, but this plant just has not gotten enough sun. But that's Flamethrower. And here we are with Cafe au Lait, right next to Bonaventure. A gorgeous yellow, but check out this one here. Bonaventure. Some different shades of yellow, gets a little orangey in there. This is the one that I'm not sure if I've got the proper ID on. It's currently listed as unknown. I'm gonna let it finish opening and then hopefully I'll get a better understanding. Something a little more closer to a palm type. We have B-Man. And I'm gonna leave you with OMG. Dahlia, OMG. These are still opening. I'm not sure if I can get out of the shade or sun, but there's some different colors going on. A bouquet of those in the house. Oh my gosh. OMG. Check my socials for that one.